Welcome. So let's play Rule the Waves 2 as France, starting in 1920. This is episode 73, and we have just successfully invaded Sardinia and are waiting for our troops to conquer the island before we'll be willing to sue for peace with the Italians in our so far 6 months war. I'm feel we've crushed the Italian Navy, and a really excellent suggestion has just come through. Thanks, Timothy Guttal, for pointing out that I've crushed the Italian Navy and I might as well just put some ships into reserve because this is overkill. Not least because I also tend to get a nice helping hand from the British, who seem to like to donate a couple of battleships to each of the battles. So I'm just going to review my fleet just now and see how much I'm willing to put into reserve. Okay, so I haven't been brutal, but so I've kept our best three battleships. Tourville, I can't until next month. The Chateau de Foy, I've kept, but I've put in the Chateau de Joie into reserve. Redoubtable, I can't. Redoutable, but the Requin, I put into reserve. Obviously, can't put into reserve ships that are still repairing. Newest one is still working up. Sort of hate to do it, but I'm going to put that one into reserve. I'm going to keep the Soule because it's an elite, just like the Chateau de Foy. But the Pain-Levé and the Joffre, they're both got a month of repair. Then the heavy cruisers, so I've got three out at the moment. I've put certainly the Lafayette light carrier into reserve. I'm going to put all of these cruisers into reserve as well. Then the rest, obviously, the corvettes are doing their thing. Trade protection. The destroyers, I don't really seem to have a lot of destroyers, so I'm going to keep those active. And this lot down here, these 500 tonners, I'm going to scrap them now. I've had my money's worth from these 1905 vessels. Scrap them. And then the final one, scrap it. I'm amazed it's not being asked to be a history ship. So that's released 4,800 into our monthly balance. And next month, when various of these ships become available, assuming our battleships don't end up in the same place, we might be able to increase that. So if I look at my build ship options, we have a Admiral Jean Bar that's still building over here. I open the design. I got 210 weight remaining, built in Britain. Yep, Britain really super cool with this. Let me just have a look if there's anything I can do to enhance this design. Okay, I managed a couple of small tweaks. I've increased the number of 4-inch double dual purpose guns up to 24. I would have loved to have taken them up to 5-inch, but to reduce the numbers to account for the extra weight would have meant that I would have had a shorter heavy anti-aircraft factor, so that seemed pointless. I've been able to fill out the light anti-aircraft guns to their full amount, and that's given us 109. So I mean, I could just put in a few more rounds. It's all a bit marginal. I can also build this in a local yard, although I'd have to take these extra rounds off. It would take 3 months longer and be a few hundred more expensive, but of course it would be much more secure. So I'm going to do that. So let's save that and get that ready for building. Ships in service here. And notice, by the way, that my submarines are on prize rules. That's a bit pointless because we're blockading the Italians. So I'm going to put them onto fleet support, see if that helps with anything. And that's pretty much it for the moment. So let's go and see what battle the Italians offer us next. Cruiser action. Battle in support of the land combat. Right. They have 4 heavy cruisers, 3 light carriers, some armed merchant cruisers, some seaplane tenders, and 6 destroyers, apparently. So I'm going to accept, and the Italians decline. Well, honestly, I do not blame them. A coastal raid. Okay, quite close. How are we doing for victory? Could decline it. I mean, it would cost me 600, but I mean, our margin is so big. Yeah, I'm going to decline that. An even worse coastal raid. And I'll decline that too. Raid on coastal shipping. Well, that seems much more fun. According to this, they might have a pre-dreadnought battleship that they found in a museum or something. I'll accept. And we're going to have a battle. Okay, so I'm going to suppress the enemy airfields from my land-based air. And see what we get here. So all I have to do is sink a couple of ships. Easy peasy. Let's just pull this out. Let's have a look at the order of battle. So we are one unified force. We don't have any British. We've got a battle division of our 3 beefy battleships. I can't remember if I used to know this, but please drop in the comments what you think the 2S means. I think I knew and I've forgotten. And then the rest, a heavy cruiser, 2 fleet carriers, some destroyers, and another heavy cruiser. Okay. Ideally, we'd want those heavy cruisers to be in the same unit, but never mind. They're screening the French carriers in the way that heavy cruisers do screening. Okay, let's look at the time. It's 10 hours daylight, 10 and a quarter hours. So, okay, that's reasonably enough. There's our target. Obviously, there are Italian air bases here, 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 down there, and here to watch out for. Let's do some screening first of all. I'm going to set the cap to heavy because I'm so close to the Italian coast. Bring this down to about 150, 2-phase search. And then if we zoom out, let's check there. I'm assuming there's nothing behind us. And there, so 1, 2, yeah, that looks fine. Maybe 160 as well. Okay, that's that sorted, and I'm just going to sort out the carrier strike forces. So I've just sent off 2 groups, dive bomber, fighter, and torpedo bomber, from each of the carriers to ready themselves to see what comes up. So over here we have the Kelber, one-time battlecruiser. Here we have the Doucet, its sister ship. I'm going to take it off, screening the carriers, and send it over to be independent with the battleships because it feels better use of their time. And let's start. Okay, lots of airplanes taking off from all over the place. See if any reports have come through yet. Nope. I'm advancing time 5 minutes at a time, just so we crack on. Whoops, probably should turn the speed up. Okay, that's our formations ready. Just going to turn the gun force towards this target. Nothing yet. These circles here are airships. Okay, so there's a transport recorded there. So some destroyers round about here. Transports outside of that. Okay, fair enough. And another transport. And some more. But nothing really of any great consequence. Okay, so there's reports of a heavy cruiser and a destroyer, which I think we should take seriously. Let's take these 2 readies and go to the targets. Let's go for that one. Oops, not that one. That one. That's just a destroyer. Send them off. Primary targets. DBs, CV there, and launch. Okay, that'll be something to get their teeth into. Lots more reports of lone transports. The sea state is limiting stuff. 28 knots. Okay, so not that limiting. Range is 25,000. I'm just going to pop back to the carriers. Yep, they've launched all of them, so I'm going to prepare a second strike. Okay, that's everything else. Torpedo bombers and dive bombers ready as we advance towards what hopefully is a target-rich environment. Enemy approaching us. Let's see where these carriers have gone to. Slightly too much for good. Oh, cold. Yes, they're on the AI control, so we'll never see them again. Okay, well, our carrier strike force is approaching somebody or other. 2 hits on transports, and someone got torpedoed. So something around here. And another one, which is all very nice. These carriers still a law unto themselves. Actually, let me check these reports. I'm going to simplify out these reports a bit. Okay, that's helped with the reports. Nothing too difficult. Transports, and a heavy cruiser down here, maybe ish, or here. Well, yep, a lot of reports. So I'm actually going to turn the battleships towards these reports to take them seriously. Lots of enemy aircraft approaching us, which, for obvious reasons, I'm not in favor of. I might just ask for. I can't ask for cap. And of course, these carriers are the main force, so I can't ask the carriers to provide cap. Hey ho. Well, I'm not liking this a great deal. Bomb hits on the Dissay, which has managed to both wreck its aft turret and cause 10 flooding as well. And also on the Democratie and the Liberté, which caused negligible damage, but prefer not if given a choice. So the forces regrouping. There's a radar contact there. So I'm going to go back to this original course and see what I can see. More enemy airplanes approaching. I mean, we do have CAP working on it. More search planes. Oh, there's the carriers over there. Okay, what have we got there? Unidentified. So since there's some actual ships, and we've got to sink a couple, let's go and chase these down. So I'm going to squad max it up. Oh, we seem to have already captured one. Captured? Sunk. Ah, well, this claims it's a heavy cruiser. So definitely let's go and them down if we can. Although it's running hard into port. Sorrento. Who knew they had any left? And some nice hits on the Trento on our carriers, which we have fended off. And the Trento seems to have had better days. Need to watch out for this destroyer, obviously. Right, let's turn them away now. A couple more hits on the Trento. It's not going to be good for anybody. And then just pop down here. We don't have to go crashing around. Let's do 22 knots. The Calver is enjoying launching some 10 inches at the Trento as well, and they've torpedoed it. Pretty sure that will be our second ship. So let's run away. Oh, it's come on, everybody. Let's issue a disengage order. See if that has any effect. Kelber is still plastering it. Good. Where's the carrier's gone? Oh, they're there. Slow it down a bit. Retreating. Ah. So a torpedo hits on Liberté. 103 right. So we will watch out for that. In fact, let's bring the whole force down 5 knots or something. Bit towards the carriers. The carriers will go to this, and we will go for maximum. And see if we can wind down the clock. Get into some protection. Yep, more enemy air attacks, mercifully being defeated. I mean, great job from the cap. I wonder if I've got, yeah, so I've got these guys ready, so I'm going to unready them. Stand down. These ones to stand down. So yes, let's exit that. I don't want them taking any hits and then finding burning airplanes on the deck. Achieved all that we've wanted to achieve. Let's just go back to the Liberté. Flooding 10. Okay, keep at it. Small cap and enemy air attacks. More enemy aircraft attacking. And the carriers too. Say no. I don't know why they're there, but yes. Oh, heaven's sakes. Of course, the Calvert is a very old design. Ooh, oh, that's not survivable. Definitely not. So that's going to be an expensive loss. I'm going to stop her in the water and see if she can't recover at all. What was it? 355? Yeah, probably not. It's down to 220. There's just not enough wiggle room for the Kelber. I mean, they're doing a great job, but they've had like 4 or 5 of them. It's down to 43, but I just can't see it surviving. So it will be a trade-off: a heavy cruiser for a heavy cruiser with our mission a sort of success. And it's going to be dark. Oh, flooding down to 0. Come on. Right. Is that right? Yep. Well, that's extraordinary. So let's bring them up and take them to 5 knots as well. And let's all go very gently. All very gently. Come along, Nightfall. That's great. Can we head for Nice? Elba. We want to go to Nice and Battle Fleet as well. So so of course the Kelber has now gone up to 10 knots. They're still flooding 5, even though they've been going at 5 knots for a while. I'm going to see if I can recapture the Kelber, and I'm going to detach Levite. I don't know why it thinks it's doing 21 knots. And keep it 5. And just see if we can't. Is that really nice? It's so annoying. If Kelber's bulkhead collapse, and they did such a good job keeping it. Hooray! 5. Go to 3. Come on, lads. Into Nice. It's not far. That'd be outrageous if it's so much flooding damage if it managed to not sink. I think the reason why we yes, heavy damage. Well, oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. 2 transports and a heavy cruiser sunk. The Kelber will be in dockyard hands for a long time. They lost 163 planes. We lost 57. 12 to air-to-air combat, whereas they lost 102 to air-to-air combat. So that's quite a thing. 35 of their medium bombers. Okay, let's just zoom in on that. Yeah, I'm liking that very much. Thank you very much. So let's close that and come out. Little marginal victory. A little bit expensive, but that's all right. 29 aircraft. Advances in fire control. So improved. Improved is always a good word. Heavy fighting, Sardinia fortifications. Fortifications. I'm sorry. I definitely. So the enemy submarine has torpedoed and damaged the Lafayette and should be in dockyard hands for 2 months. She's in reserve. How did they manage that? 190 for blockade. And yeah, let's go to the build screen and build one of these. chaps. For nearly 3 years, and we still have 2,207. A little think what we might need. I've had a little ponder of something like this. I only have like two light cruisers in the world, which is a bit rubbish, and I wanted a guided missile light cruiser. The Amiral Cecile here comes in at 11,000 tons, 32 knots, light protection for 6-inch guns. It's got 12 of those, 6 forward and 6 aft. It has a SAM in the forward and in the aft, some torpedoes, and a modest air anti-aircraft gun, and some remaining ones here that I'm just going to fill out. There we go. So yeah, 2 SAM batteries, 6 torpedoes, fair chunk of light AA, and modest heavy AA, but obviously extended by the missiles, a good gun battery, including auto loaders. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. See if they think that's all okay. So that will be a sort of guided missile destroyers and guided missile light cruiser and guided missile heavy cruisers. And bearing the guided missile heavy cruisers, they cost 88,000, whereas this new design is going to be a lot cheaper. Well, that's it for the moment. Thanks for watching. Join me next time when surely we finish off this war with the Italians. Bye for now and stay safe.